There we go. Howdy, everyone. It's Crow's Nest No Quarter, episode number 70, the big 7-0. And I didn't know what to call this one because there's not a lot of excitement at the moment. So I thought we could talk about scale, but we'll get on to that later on.
I don't want to talk about the scale. I'm a fat person.
Ratio, is that better?
That's much better.
Size? Okay. Very good. So we'll say howdy to everyone. I'm pretty sure I put the link in the YouTube chat, and I can do it again when I go back over to YouTube in a sec. So if you want to come and join us, feel free. So we today have Churian here.
Evening all.
Damnation.
Yo.
Watchman.
Pile.
A slightly less sweaty Ross Crow this week.
Good evening.
And we've got Shane Howe.
Hello, peoples.
Cuddle came in while we were all yelling and screaming.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm RB. So, howdy, everyone. How about we talk about the raid for a start-off point, and then we'll just dribble shit from there. So, what did everyone think of the raid? Were you happy with it? Did you enjoy it? What did you think of hitting the using the suppressor to go in and hit ships and all that sort of stuff?
I'll start that one. I got suppressor within the first few hours. I found it much easier in the 500 than the 501 than the 500. But once I sort of mastered it, it was okay. There wasn't many points for me to get. If you've done well in previous events, there wasn't that much to pick up, in all honesty. So once I got sort of what I needed, I started just breaking up like a Manticore fleet and hitting the 41s and 43s for free map repair, just playing around with them. And you could do the same thing with, what's the other new orange fleet they threw at us?
The bat race on the 80s? Is that the one you're talking about?
Proto-Apollos.
Yeah, the Proto-Apollos, with 6 days, I mean, it soon adds up if you're just running out 5 fleets. So, yeah, that worked quite well. I picked up quite a few more points just doing that for free, just to kill time, you know what I mean? And that's it, really, yeah. I didn't find it that difficult, but unfortunately, I didn't have to get much,
Well, once I discovered that you could do the 500 and the 501 without the suppressor, I was like, why do we really need the suppressor?
The suppressor really surprised me. I didn't think it was possible to have a one-ship prep fleet. And yeah, it does work. I got the suppressor out almost immediately, thanks to that special FM. And yeah, it cut down the damage in the 500s and 501 dramatically. And you didn't need rank, didn't need anything on it. And with 6 days, you could just, even if it got damaged, just wait a little while. It was really nice.
Yeah, well, I watched quite a few people doing that, but I only did the 80s myself with the bat rays. So my grade wasn't that fun.
Yeah, at 25K a pop, I can imagine it wasn't.
No. But I got 7 million and got a few things. I mean, and no Predatorians yet still. I got silverfishes, but I haven't had a chance to build them yet because I've been behind, being off and so much so lately. So it's not fun being behind.
Well, sorry, just jumping back to hitting the 41s and the 43s. I'd go and hit 3 of one and 2 of the other, and then swap it the next time. And you're getting 10k every time. So if you went out, and you hit 10 on auto, 2 runs, you had 100k, and that adds up pretty quickly. It was adding up pretty quick. So
yeah, I priced the Apollos out. If you just grinded with 5 regular Apollos on the 40s, you should have been able to make almost 1 million points an hour.
Yeah,
I mean it would be an intensive hour of you micromanaging 5 fleets because the 40s did not take long, but it could be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was just doing the 80s, because I mean it was 100,000 every 2 targets, and they were instant repair. I just had to take them into base to rip them out, and the lower 80s I could like map repair most of the time, but the upper ones was like 8 minutes, so ended up being like 4 minutes on one ship and 4 minutes on the other 4, because the damage is still going to the one ship.
But again, hopefully that option is there for the next raid for everybody, and they're aware of that now. That they, if they can, a little bit of grinding, you can get it. If they give you enough days, it's there for everybody. I think. You haven't got to have the top. You haven't got to have the silverfish, and you haven't got to have the suppressor. If you've got a bit of time, you can, like they say, micromanage 5 holes out there, or 10 even. If you've got a Manticore and the Apollos, it's there.
I was going to say that was Shane's problem, because you didn't have a lot of those fleets that you could use for that, did you, Shane?
No, I don't have the Proto Apollos. Apparently, I was gone when they gave that fleet away. I got 3 Saturns, but none of them are upgraded. I mean, it's one of the dumbest fucking things they've ever put in this game is goddamn upgrades in your shipyard. And then whenever they decide to give you some kits, they can be out there. It's just so bad of an idea. I'm appalled at it,
Yeah, I think we're all under. I think we all agree that it's just another way of making the builds longer. Basically to make them what they should be.
Here, let me talk about something real quick that's sticking in my craw right now. The fact that they came out with these new level 7 armors that only take a couple hours to equip, but they still haven't come out with an explosive one. And the explosive 6 that we have takes like a day, as opposed to just a couple hours at the new 7s. Why have you either A, not come out with the new 7 armor for explosive, or B, reduce the shit out of the build time for the 6 armor?
Yeah, reduce the times on the older tech. I mean, it needs to happen whenever they come out with the lower times on the newer tech.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous that an armor that's probably 3 times better actually takes way less time than the one that's old and sucks. That's just stupid.
To me, this raid felt like I was doing pillage. I was hitting the 112s and the 114s. Got my points. Got the new stuff for silverfish, and pretty much was done. And then I prepped a few things with my Saturn for a few alliance people. So yeah, targets felt like I was doing pillage.
What made it feel like it was pillage to you? I totally agree with you, but what made you feel like that it's, what was the key factor?
The different ships for the different targets.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, honestly, to me, what made it seem like pillage was that there was just really no pressure for me this raid, because there wasn't that much new stuff. It was a 6-day raid. I felt very comfortable just going out, hitting the targets, and letting my fleet slow repair.
Yeah, the time
for a 6-day raid. For a 6-day raid in July, which usually would be like a hull store or a giant tech store, it had almost nothing in it.
Well, I would actually not necessarily agree with that. I think there was a lot of stuff in it. It's just most of the stuff is shit we already all had. If we were, caught up or close to caught up.
I'm not going to say it was a bad raid. I'll say it's a good raid because we didn't have to do that much in it. For those of us that are caught up, for everyone else, the fact that they had 6 days, I think it was probably good for them that they could. There was a lot of tech in there that they could catch up with, and it wasn't that difficult a raid, if you thought about it. So I'm going to go positive on this one. You know what I mean?
I think there was a lot in there for people who didn't didn't have stuff, there was a lot in there. It just, yeah, you know, it is. Go on.
I'd also like to point out, too, that once again, this raid proved my point that you don't have to have crazy leaderboard prizes for people to still spend a shit ton of money, because there's people with billions and billions of points yet again because they were chasing after the limited event. You don't have to have leaderboard prizes and alliance leaderboard prizes for people to still be spending shit tons of money on your raid. So glad to see you not have those this raid and still see people spending tons of money. Hopefully you can finally get that like through your skull that you don't need that stuff to separate the haves and the have-nots even farther, and you're still going to make a ton of money.
Yeah, I agree with that.
See, I'm going to fall on the side of a bad raid. Though the targets were fine, the prize list was absolutely terrible. And as somebody who works very hard on building his raid fleet, I feel like I've wasted my time completely. I could have done this raid just as easily by sitting around and not playing and just use the free Proto-Apollo fleet. So really, where's the payoff for all my effort?
That's kind of how I was feeling. I was kind of feeling I'm really bent over backwards to build this fleet of silverfish and had it up to U2, and it's a total underperformer, being that I was only hitting the 112 or 108. I guess I'm not totally certain on the numbers, but just hitting those targets without the suppressor, it's a true underperformer. If we're, that's the target it's for, and that was the target it was for. We couldn't get down with it. So for me, I put it away after I got a few points on the booked in, and I went to hitting with the lower fleets. That to me, it was a letdown. So I was just a little disappointed in my silverfish. So it's parked.
I think a lot of us did the same thing, because I think like Cuttle said the same. You did it, Ross. I did it. Once we got a few bits of what we wanted, and we knew we had X amount of days left, we dropped down and started, going hitting the lower fleets for free. Lower targets.
Because they're performing.
Yeah.
Weren't you able to buy the fleet anyway this time? Again?
Yeah,
So,
you can.
I think that's here to stay.
Okay, well, that surely had something to do with how you felt about it too. You could have worked on something else and just bought the damn fleet when the raid come around.
Oh yes, that did.
Yeah.
That did sting a wee bit.
Yeah, well, matter of fact, I think it is here to stay. If it were, I'm just gonna maybe count on it on a couple. I might, not every time, but I'm not gonna bend over backwards so much if it's gonna be how it is.
So don't want to jump the gun on this one, but the deal for the to get the stillfish up to U3, yeah. Did you take it?
The $10?
Not doing it.
I didn't take it.
I've got to admit, I did take it. It was £8.33 or so UK. I took it. They're all because I could get them all done, and I could carry on finish working on my Praetorians. Because they still needed some new armor coming out from the FM and stuff like that. So it just freed up that. I know you can say, well, it's like pay to play, but it's just the way they're making it now.
It's just the way that you make it.
I get where you're coming from on that as well.
It's the way the players are allowing them to make it.
Yeah,
that's
it's to me it's not a large amount, £8, to get everything up to you free, because it would have took I think it's about 25 days it would have taken. So I gained all that back again, to some extent. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing, and everybody plays differently, but as usually, if the door's open, I'll walk straight through it. So
yeah.
But that's the thing. It's, to me, like there was a lot less pressure, because you knew what the second fleet was, being the suppressor. You only needed one of them, so they've gotten rid of the two fleet, shenanigans, and there is no possible way that we can. Well, there is a possible way, but if we stay away from this two fleets and we just have the one main fleet and the other fleet, I don't know. So kind of going backwards, Damnation. So what sort of damage were you getting in the 500s and 501s without using the suppressor?
I had a flag and 3 ships done. They weren't fully done because they didn't all have like full armor on them or anything. And I think I was getting like 2.5 hours per target.
Well, see, that's not really that bad. So, and so Ross, you were saying that they're underperforming.
Yeah, I was not hitting
too much damage, or
I was hitting a different target. I was hitting the 108 and 112, and I was picking up that damage on those targets. So
yeah, when I was doing, because before Jordy was actually the one that showed me how to do the 500s and 501s. Told me more than he told me that you could do it. He showed me, but I did my own pathing when I went in. Because I'm a noob and I do whatever I want to do. but like when I was hitting the 2 lower level targets, I think I was usually doing a set of those for like 7 coins for the set. I think maybe.
Right.
And I was still actually happy with that.
Yeah.
But like on the topic of the upgrades, though, here's my question for people: is it really worth devoting your time and devoting your money to doing these upgrades when you're only going to have to use these ships for one more fucking raid?
Well, I don't think we know what they might put out in the future. When they get TLCs thrown at us, and that whether we're going to need them. And other things they throw out there. So it does give a huge boost to resistances and stuff.
I know I'm not stressing it myself. There's only one more raid that you need to ships for, so apart from that, I don't care.
You get 4,900 extra survival on both concussive and explosive.
Yeah, I know what the upgrades are. I just to me, it's not important enough to spend the time or the money on it.
Well, for the upcoming cycle, the siege raid, the Silverfish become the level 80 fleet to use.
Yeah.
Right, but I never hit the lower thing, so it doesn't really affect me.
Right. No, I get it. I feel you. And I was thinking the same thing because, in all honesty, and also, guess what? If you do end up needing one that you skipped, per se, you can buy it. Shit, you can buy it. You know what I mean? And that's and that has been the case. And let's be honest, you can buy it really pretty cheap after the fact. Considering I think I got a lot of computer time in my damn fleet, and for what they offer them for, I think the deals are better. Wait.
I guess the other thing too about the deals is now when they offer them, because that's part of it as well. Part of the strategy of being the pay to play is when you actually buy the deal and which deal you buy. But nevertheless, the actual hulls that you're getting are a lot better than what they were historically. So, we'd get these things with the wrong weapons and the wrong armor and these ridiculous builds that weren't sculled and all that sort of thing. And when you look at the builds that you're buying now, they're actually a lot better. And in my opinion, they actually seem to work. So
I think they pull certain players now.
Right.
The Silverfish deal, the fleet they gave out, that one had Advanced Concussive Payload 2 on it, not Advanced Concussive Payload 3 on it.
Yeah, okay.
And Advanced Concussive Payload 3 was not in the raid either.
Yeah.
So, no, I found out all the Kickside fleets that they give out all require a little bit of TLC to make them really, really work well.
Yeah, a little tweak on them. Yeah.
But wasn't there someone who said we didn't know how to build fleets? Remember that?
Well, he's gone. He's been gone for quite a while.
Aerospecs.
I think you need to let that go, dude. He's not
No.
there.
No,
Yeah.
I shall not.
It's very arrogant, wasn't it? Very arrogant.
Anyway, it was more not directed at, well, I guess it was directed at one person, but it's like, you know, that was kind of the attitude. But anyway, never mind. So I did a few random things during the raid because I could. I went back and refitted my the new sonar special onto my razor tails because I had these tokens that were just sitting there. So I thought, what the hell, why not? And was doing the 80s quite well with them. They were, you know, they probably still weren't as good as the bat rays, but it was a bit of fun, you know, whipping around with those again. So, but it was good having 6 days to do it because there wasn't really any pressure. So, you know, it was interesting. So
after the raid, what have you all learned? What refits do you need to do to your hulls before the next raid?
I need to build them.
I hate my armor.
Check.
I'm still waiting to find out what they're doing with the Hydrofoil 2 armor. Are they fixing it? Are they reducing the repair time? Or do I just remove them, period?
Man, that's some dirty pool there.
In a perfect world, I would have enough DX6s to pull all the CT7s off of my fleet, put DX6s on, because I found the explosive armor was way more important than the concussive armor.
The D6X. Yeah.
From what I've seen on that foiled armor, ain't they going to be tweaking them over the next few weeks still? So, I mean, to find out anything for sure, you're going to have to wait.
And that's the armor. That's the armor we haven't got. Is the D7X at the moment. That's the explosive one that's missing, isn't it? You know.
I'm sure they'll time it perfectly and have it come out after this raid cycle's over.
Yeah.
Well,
And
no, it'll probably be a prize in the raid.
And it doesn't even matter, even if it is.
Why would they make it a prize in the raid when you don't need it anymore? Actually, what I could see them doing,
because you don't need them anymore.
No, honestly, what I can see them doing is putting it in pillage.
I mean, well, let's look at the prizes that come in quickly in this week's FM. Yeah, I was just going to say, concussive sync drive gives concussive survival. Yeah, the concussive battery gives concussive damage and stuff like that. But again, there's the concussive sync drive, nice, but again, there was nothing that gave us explosive survival. Yet again, and we've still only got D6 on that. So it's a glaring omission.
I'm going to call it now. Pillage is going to be the explosive sync drive and the D7X. I'm calling it now.
Agree.
I need at least 15 D7Xs for me to make any difference at all. At least 15 of them. I would prefer 20 or more. So if they dump them all there in pillage, that's really dirty pool. Last minute stuff.
Snoopy, I would say that yes, survival does work because I know the silverfish that I did actually break down to put the D6X armor on. I could tell the difference, and they would definitely took less damage than the ones that didn't have the D6X armor. So it works to at least that degree. I mean, how it works overall, if it's working the way they intend it to, I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that I did see difference in the damage taken between those two armors. And yes, honestly, the armor did work in the case of the explosive armor. I have firsthand visible knowledge of that. So.
Yeah, I know I'm certainly going back and changing my engines back to probably explosive resistors, but I'm still, worried that, so explosive was king in this raid, so concussive will be king in the next one. You never know. So yeah, I don't know. Basically, is my answer to that. So.
Well, I mean, we got the concussive sync drives are in the FM, yeah. So I must admit, I am refitting to those.
I wanted to put one on my suppressor.
those concussive sync drives are going on my bat race.
Okay. Yeah. So you are going to need a lot.
Well, I have, I'm using Strike 5 as my engine. So for the projectile speed bump.
Mhm.
So that's going to remain there. So the only thing I'm using out of the FM is the concussive battery. Because that adds a really nice chunk of splash damage. That coupled with Hyper 30, maybe that will make a difference.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
slash damage reduction, not splash damage.
Yeah, that's. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we I don't know. We don't know if splash damage reduction is working properly anymore, do we? You know what I mean? That's
Nope.
Well, let's be honest. Do we know if anything in the game is working properly?
Yeah.
But at least with Hyper 30 on, my ships will be moving at speed 65 and not 54. Because at 54 speed, Silverfish are, oof, they're slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the key in the 500s. The speed is your friend in there, especially if you don't have suppressors or a suppressor, and you're just trying to work it with your regular fleet. Speed is the key in there to not get caught as much as possible by those rockets or big mortars or whatever the fuck they are.
The mystery weapons that nobody's really sure what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The missile rocket mortars.
Yeah, they're the ones. They might even the plasma as well. We're not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I see in the chat we were mentioning, the armor whole thing, and I was mentioning in the event that I think the armor doesn't work. I said that before, and I still am standing by it. I'm noticing other people say the same thing, and I think there's a real issue with the other armor, not the one that's just saying they're going to work on. I was getting outperformed by people with 0 armor on their fleet, driving with the same pattern, and I stand by that. And Snoopy's one of them.
Again, I totally have to disagree with that because I saw the visible difference by having the D6 explosive armor on.
Well, then that shows the difference of different people having different things happen to them in the game. Why is that even a thing? Why does one person have a different experience with the same exact build because they're from a different area? They're just a different VPN or location, or what the hell's going on with that?
That's it. I don't want to go tinfoil out on this one, but I do feel that you can have the same build as somebody else, drive the same way, and get a different result.
Well, yeah, you can, because it's not like you're always going to drive the exact same way as the other guy did. You can't even drive the exact same way that you do from one target to the next. It's like trying to take water out of a glass and pour it back in and having each and every molecule be in the same place. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a difference of 5 minutes, though, are we? We're talking 30, 45 an hour differences, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that's room to say, what the hell's going on here? Why? Because that's been a problem throughout history with me. I had another guy in my group, and we had the exact same stuff, and we do the exact same thing, but there's a major difference into the performance of our equipment. It's like, what the hell's up with that?
Bama has a good point too. It could be a difference in the retrofits and R&D.
And they do fire a ton of splash-based weapons at us. So there's RNG in there as to where those rounds land.
Yeah,
Get unlucky.
RNG is a big thing in this game. It really is.
Yeah, because I'd even if you were sitting side by side and doing every keystroke the same, you're still not going to get the same result. So it's I don't know.
Is anyone going with a critical build?
Yeah, I.
You are?
Yep. I know they're not critical's not normally that great. Yeah, but I'm gonna give it a try. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see how that works. Honestly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I've deliberately left it off because I've found, every time we've used a critical that it hasn't performed as you would expect it to, because I don't think critical is as critical as it, was many, many years ago. So it'll be interesting to see. I am interested to see how it performs.
Which is obviously the full metal casing, which is the special to come out in this week's FM. For those that, for those that were unaware what we were talking about when we say critical, the new full metal casing is the best one if you're going to go a critical build. That's the latest and greatest.
And what were you going to take off?
Yeah, that would be my thing. I would not. There's nothing on my build I would want to take off to put that on in place of it.
Right.
On my Bat Ray fleets, that Deadeye Destroyer crew did make a little bit of difference, but I seem to get a better effect out of the Sea Serpent myself. But the rest of the crews, they didn't seem to work worth a shit. The Steelheads or anything like that. It's just the critical crew and the evade crew with the extra turning really seemed to be the only crews that made any difference for me. And I tested quite a few crews this last round. So
yeah, I didn't really use very much in the end because I didn't really do very much in the end. I got to sort of 20 million and I was fairly content with that. I, didn't go too crazy on it, but part of me wonders, unless it is a crew like that that's, very specific, that gives you evade and stuff like that, I wonder if some of these crews have just been left behind in their performance, and there's only certain ones that really matter depending on what's attacking and all that sort of thing that makes a mega difference anymore. But I'm sure
I was under the impression of, are these crews actually even working? You know what I mean? I mean, like we're survival now, and the Steelhead says defense still. So I mean, is it even applying? That's what I was getting the feel of. It's not even, you're throwing a crew on there, but it's not even working.
No, from what I heard way back, this was when Robot was still there. He said that the crews are still working and we're still providing a percentage.
I mean, those crews need totally updating. I mean, I think everyone's said it, but you hear it so often. I mean, they are so old; they go back to fleets that no one's used for years.
Let me backtrack here for a second, though, because Ross asked something earlier that he never got an answer to, and I'm kind of curious too. That Watchman, what are you going to take off of your build to fit on the full metal casing?
Well, I didn't have to take. I had the other one before that. Let's just drop. I had the Hydra explosive casing. So okay. I didn't go with the Hydra 30s or whatever, okay. Yeah, but my fleet was still doing okay. It was working okay, the build. So I wasn't struggling with it, and especially on a 6-day raid, I didn't feel any pressure to go too mad at it because there wasn't a lot for me that I needed to get in that particular raid. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I mean that was actually my favorite thing. That's the big positive for me this raid. The big takeaway positive thing for me was there was not a ton of pressure on me to I have to get this done. I have to get this done. I have to get this done. It was a nice 6-day raid. I didn't need a whole lot of stuff. This was, in my opinion anyway, a really nice, good, relaxing raid for people who were already caught up. And for people who weren't caught up, they still had tons of stuff they could get.
Yeah.
I'd love to see every raid be this way.
Yeah, and that's why I said I'm calling it a positive on that one, because I think it was, for those of us that are already in a quite good position, it was quite a relaxing raid. And for those people that were playing catch-up, there was plenty in there to get. And I don't think it was that difficult. I really don't, because, as I said, you could use... you could hit down the lower tiers, and you could, if you could grind away a little bit, you were fine,
Yeah, I think with the proto Apollos, if you did have them, you were pretty well set. So, and yeah, even though 80s were a drag, you could certainly do it. But,
Well, I was using Mantis, and I could get through with there with missile Mantis. To be honest with you, that's the only time I've used those fuckers because that's it. Because I've got 2 fleets of Mantis, and I was always using the scatters before.
Scatters, yeah.
Now, I'll be honest.
To use my missile Mantis.
I'm not a big fan of the way that the target right underneath the top tier target was like for Saturns and Nemesis. Like, in my opinion, that should have been, for like the next lowest of that type of fleet, last year's fleet of the same sort. I don't really necessarily like the layout of the new format.
I guess my biggest issue with it is that I'm so bloody sick of hitting Scourge subs. I'm over them. That's it. No more Scourge after this. I'm tired of it.
Like right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're having to use last year's fleet to do this raid, you're hitting down, 3 tiers at this point?
Yep. Yeah, that'd be 3 tiers.
As opposed to in our old raid format, you would have been hitting down 1 tier. So it's making it way more of a grind for those people, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, but one of the things that we, have said over and over and over is that there should be a way for people to grind.
Yeah, but you're missing my point.
Probably.
I have no problem with people having to grind, but at this point with this new raid format, they're having to grind like 4 times more than what they had to in the old format.
Yeah.
Because instead of hitting the targets that are worth 100,000 a pop or whatever, they're reduced to hitting the ones that are 25,000.
Yeah, I guess I'm used to doing it for pillage, so to me it wasn't really such a noticeable thing, but I get what you're saying for sure.
So even in pillage, though, you're not having to hit down 3 tiers. Generally, you're hitting down 1 tier. If you're not doing the top targets, generally in pillage, you're doing the 2nd tier. Sometimes, worst case scenario, the 3rd tier.
Yeah, I was going to say I was doing, what was 80s? Is that 3rd tier or 2nd?
I believe 80s is 2nd tier, I do believe.
Anyway, either way. So, and have you all come up with a suppressor build that you're happy with? Because there seems to be a lot of variation out there on suppressors. So,
a really fast engine and whatever.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I'm going with the Galea system and a Cormorant anti-torpedo. No engine at all. And it works fine.
I have Reaver Scout engine on mine.
Jeez. I don't have a single engine.
Very fast.
Mine was working pretty good. Without anything.
I love Reaver Scout engine because you're not really going to get caught by anything. And for some reason, if shit starts shooting at you, you can probably outrun it.
Yeah, I haven't put an engine on. I mean, I don't know why I bothered. I went with advanced concussive payload 3 and barb Gatling gun, but I mean, it's the aura that does the damage anyway, so you don't really need it. You could probably put a bleeding FUD on it.
That's actually what I have on mine weapon-wise. That I still have my FUD 1 on, and I built it with in the first place.
I got an L mortar for speed, or whatever the B mortar, whatever the one is for speed.
No V Siege, 10%.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, I will say this: if you don't have a good internet connection, I don't necessarily recommend the Reaver Scout engines. Because it does go really freaking fast, and if you're not right on top of that shit, it can cause problems.
Yeah, some people were saying that. I mean, lucky enough, there's a difference. I play on a 4K screen, so I can zoom out further and I can see a bigger map. and a bigger screen, so I can see where it's going. Like, you know.
Mm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Well, I'm assuming now that everybody's got them sculled, because that was a pretty easy thing. I guess we can go into VXP in a minute, but it'll be interesting to see, because now we'll have a bit more turn speed and all that sort of thing with the ranking, whether that's a big improvement. So
Yeah, that was easy to do. Yeah.
Mm. So then we may as well go on to that. So how's everyone going with VXP? Is everything done? Is everybody happy?
I had one moat to rank. It took me 2 hits.
It was pretty quick this time. I finally got my brutal eradicator ranked.
Nice.
I've
only
forgotten it a few times.
I only had my Praetorian flag to rank, and that was 3 hits. Yeah,
Mm.
and it was very easy. Yeah, it was very easy.
I too am in the Praetorian flagship camp. I had the suppressor to rank 2, but that's fine. That was easy. Now I'm just farming Defender VXP tokens because I looked at mine and I was low. So yes, at the moment I'm just floating around watching people do the 100s, and when their fleet floats away, doing the walk of shame, I go in and clear the target for the 3 tokens.
I noticed that too. The walk of shame's not as slow as it used to be.
No.
Yeah.
It's been like that for a while. So
Yeah, that's good actually. I mean, now I jumped back to my old sector because we've got a free week this week, and I position myself between basically a relay tower and a SSRB. So you know you're going to get where everything pops up. You know, and so then you know when you're doing the VXP. You're going to be close to anything that you might have wanted. I know they all come around really around the SSRBs now, but I've always liked that. And it used to take ages, you know, like sometimes if you were further away, but now they are jumping back so quick. Yeah.
yeah,
You know.
it does make it much easier. So yeah, I've been doing my rock ring Saturn, so I can finish that off finally. So that'll be good. I'm really happy with the fact that the 100s don't go away. I think this is a really good way to do it. Personally, you know, I think it's a much better way of doing it. You know, you've got plenty of time to do it and just get it done. And
yeah, I'm going to give again Kix credit on this one. That the VXP, I think, has become a much less of a chore for people. You know, it's better, much better than it used to be. Where sometimes you had to hit ridiculous amounts to rank a fleet up. You know, they've come good with that. You know, so again, I'm gonna say yeah, well done. I'll give them kudos.
yeah, because there's been some pretty shocking times for VXP, and you know this isn't too bad because you know at least it's spread out and it gives you time to do things. It also gives people time to get out a hole to rank it. So because sometimes, if you haven't planned correctly, you're still, say 2 days off a build when it starts or whatever. So yeah, it's a much better way of doing it. So.
And as a reminder, this is the last time we will see this specific VXP target. Next time it comes up will be a siege variant. So if you want to farm those defender tokens, this is the best time.
Yeah, if you've got the ability to do it, for sure. So definitely a good time. So very good. So we may as well move on. So I did, while I was struggling for things to think about discussing this week, my whole scale and size thing was obviously the 125 FM targets, but having said that, they've actually, well, apart from the size of the things on the map, which obviously need to be halved at least. And we've done this before, and that was going to be the start of my rant, blah, 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 go back, remember that we've done this over and over and over again, and it creates lag and all the rest, but they've actually, at least taken down the spawn rate so the map isn't entirely covered with them. So, it is what it is.
I did put a post on the forums saying, could you make them a little bit larger, as I'm having trouble finding them.
At one point, I was going to make wallpaper for my screen. It was just nothing but those parts.
I did use the locator to find one.
It's probably 2 sectors away, though, yeah?
It probably was. Oh, that's funny. Well done. But yeah, I can't be too negative about it. So because it's actually been fixed, and it hasn't gone through this whole cycle of 6 weeks of us saying again and again and again, blah 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 blah. However, they do need to still shrink them down, in my opinion. But,
Yeah.
And
Just
has
don't
anyone
make-
had a go on? Sorry.
Just don't make any targets bigger than our base.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I was thinking exactly the same thing. So the base should be the biggest thing, and apart from the SSRBs, obviously, because they were traditionally such a big target. But anything else on the map doesn't need to be massive. We can find it. Believe me, we can find it. So.
I'm still, we're all thrilled about the gantry solution last week. The bug fix, they found the gantry. Some people were missing a gantry. I'm sure glad they got that sorted.
Well, that's very important to the stability and playability of the game.
I know that's why I was kind of meaning. I was glad that they were on that.
But they can get rid. I'll tell you what. After you've built the thing, they should have got rid of the gantries now. Unless they're coming out with a ship 2. You know what I mean? Like a Mega 2. We don't need the gantries anymore, do they? Once you've built it, it should have disappeared. Because it doesn't do anything anymore, does it?
Yeah, the whole super hull Hyperion thing, I just don't think has gone as planned. I'll just say that. I just do not think it's gone as planned.
I'm just glad they didn't waste any time working on the turning issue.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's true.
Or the fact you can only mount generic weapons into the weapon slots, and we don't get those anymore. We get now skirmish weapons or siege weapons, which we can't put on any of our Hyperions. Very irritating.
Are shipwrecks supposed to be active right now?
Yes.
Yes. It's,
Yep.
Yeah. I was
you got a
waiting.
little tab on the left side of your screen does them, because I couldn't in the locator, they weren't showing up. It says no targets available, but it's got that little icon on the left side.
Gotcha.
And I was curious about that. Are those alliance or just singles?
Singles. And
Singles.
they're so
Because they got that red ring around them,
they're
supposed to slow people down. I thought that was only on the alliance ones.
No, that's on all of them. But this one here is going to be they strictly pay out for the drop rate, the time drop for them through the top. They pay out uranium, titanium, and then for the rest of the final payouts, you have the possibility for silverfish ranking tokens or 1-day silverfish upgrade token for the final payout.
Now,
See,
when they said
it didn't say about an upgrade token. It just says a VXP token.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you click on the target itself, there'll be a question mark, and then it will pop up the info and give you the list of the possible payouts.
I was going to say, because it does seem to be very odd timing, giving out VXP tokens during a VXP weekend.
Well, yeah, they announced it on Discord today that they were going to have the shipwrecks later on, and they didn't even put it in announcements. So I'm just thinking that just my tinfoil hat theory is that there's just not a lot of coining going on, and really, and so let's have a little bit of shipwrecks. You know,
Well, they postponed Bounty and said they were going to do a shipwrecks event, and now it's just shipwrecks. There's no prize list. It's just whatever you hit and whatever you happen to get.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I'm wondering if this is a warm-up opportunity for those people who are looking forward to the shipwrecks event next week to get their fleet tuned in and settled in where they want them. Is basically kind of maybe what this is, like basically a practice test run for them.
I'll say, I mean, you know, the blurb at the top of the page, it says, Captain, shipwrecks have been spotted on the world map. Attack and hold these targets to earn premium resources, yeah, which I'm full up resources, and VXP tokens. And of course, it's VXP weekend and everything's VXP. But it didn't mention that they're actually upgrade tokens. It just says VXP tokens.
Yeah, but if you, like Ross said, if you click the target, it shows you right there that they're in there.
Yeah,
It looks like that's all they're pretty much giving out is all just VXP.
yeah.
No kits, but upgrade token. So how many of those upgrade tokens can you even hold? I'm just curious.
That's
10.
a good question.
It's 10.
Yeah, 10.
but because it doesn't actually mention that there's upgrade tokens, it just says VXP. That's the thing. And I was looking, you know, on the forums to see if it mentioned what they was actually giving out. And to be honest with you, I couldn't find it. Maybe I missed it, but I couldn't find what they was, you know, actually dropping.
No, I don't believe this was a posted our thing. That's what I was saying. I didn't even see it in announcements today on Discord. I just saw it in the random general chat, and so it was interesting.
It just seems like a lack of information to me, to be honest with you. Like, you know, if they're dropping something else that they're not actually mentioning, you know.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, I guess because hang on, I forget about that.
Because there is a way for it to tell you.
I guess if they want you to go out there and look at the target itself if you want to know anything about it. I guess not. Everything's printed out in forums.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should be, but I was going off random.
You know, I mean, when we do any other event, everything, it's normally there's a list of everything that can be gained and where you can get it from, to some extent, yeah. And this is not clearly explained what you can win in it. That was the thing. I mean, there is a obviously an upgrade token apparently you can win, but it's not mentioned anywhere. That was the point I was making.
Yeah.
It's a 1-day one as well, which is pretty good.
I guess it's out there if you want it. So,
Yeah, I mean, 1 day is nice, but there again, it's only good if you have the kits to go with it.
Yeah. I mean, in my case, like I said, I'm behind here and there. The kits, okay, I've got time to go and upgrade this thing. I'm finally going to break down and just finally upgrade something. I'm short 90 kits. Son of a bitch. I can only buy 10 kits for 200,000 a pop in the raid when it comes around. But I've got to work on getting something else. I mean, it's that upgrade thing on brand new ships is just so freaking ignorant to me. And to add insult to injury, you got to do it in the shipyard. Fuck off.
And then they can't even make both parts of it available at the same time. That's what really gets me. It's like, for an example, during the raid, first TLO I had was the ability to buy upgrade tokens. And I said to Kix directly, I'm like, can you tell me why on earth I would want to buy any of these tokens when I have no way to get the kits from? I'm like, what marketing genius came up with this? And I think it was shortly thereafter that they put the kits in the raid, because I know they weren't there at the beginning.
I mean, I got the pricing out the kits in the raid, and they're just, if you got to get them on, god damn, it's expensive as hell for me.
And everybody noticed, of course, the suppressor has an upgrade, and we haven't seen kits for them.
Yeah.
And it is 8, almost 9 days. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I mean, the suppressor works brilliantly without it, so me.
Oh,
yeah,
but
But there's no kits for it yet.
Yeah, that's a strange thing, but I guess, in the next iteration of the raid, we'll see that, there's some other difficult complication that you'll probably need the upgrades or whatever, but yeah, I don't know.
It gives 14,000 concussive and explosive survival to upgrade it.
U3 will be, it never surfaces. Even if you stop moving, it doesn't surface.
That'd be cool. But then the aura won't work, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It goes to U4 to get a permanent.
Well, I would say maybe U3 will be that you never surface and the aura works while you're underwater.
Maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, you just go to regular submerged, not you go from deep diving to regular submerged.
Well, that makes
Just give it the lurkers death charges.
So we know it's obviously coming. It's like, when is it coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's not there for no reason at all, obviously. So when they're going to drop that, you'd expect it to be before the next raid.
Anyway, so going back to the 125s, has everybody hit them? What do you all think of them? I've seen a lot of, I've watched a few battles and watched a few videos. I haven't bothered hitting one myself because I don't really see the need to at the moment, but has everyone had a go at them?
I did try one, just one.
And?
Well, it's more. It wasn't as bad as I was envisioning, I guess. So I'll say that.
And
I'm supposed to be hitting down. I prefer to not hit them, but I don't know. I guess the design is I liked it. I didn't dislike it. I didn't think it was overly huge or any. It didn't take too long. So it was all right.
What sort of damage was you taking, Russ?
I used a single ship with no armor, and I think I got a couple hours, maybe an hour and a half to a couple hours. It wasn't. I did the whole thing on a single ship with no armor. I was kind of impressed, actually. So.
I was just say you can't really complain about that,
right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's only tuned at 40%.
Yeah, from my perspective, I didn't have the Praetorian ranks, the flag, so I thought I'll wait until I get that done. But now I'm fitting out the rest of the Praetorians with some of the new armors we got from the FM. But I mean, the fact that I can go and hit. I can take my 4 regular Praetorians. I can go and hit 4 120s for free map repair. At the moment, I don't find the 125 enticing. There's nothing. There's no logical reason why I should want to hit that because I can go and get 2.4 million on auto in the same time that someone could probably get 800k. And I can get it for a free repair.
No, I totally.
But not everyone's in that position. Remember?
Well,
no.
I think we're going to get level locked or target locked, and truly, I mean, they're not going to let that go on, and they're not going to put a new target out and then not have people hit it. And it's just a matter of time when they say that Praetorians can't hit 120s or 121s. You know what I mean? That's fine.
Yeah, I get that.
I did see on, because I was peer group pressure onto Discord today, I did see Half Centaur was saying that there's, no changes in the FM, plan for the next few weeks. So,
but this is it. So hopefully, in the next few weeks, I can pick up the extra bits that I need to refit the Praetorians, and then I'll be willing to take them into the 125s if there is no other option.
Yeah. What were you trying to say, Cuddle?
I think the 125s at the moment are too easy for me to be able to truly refine my Praetorian build on it. The damage does seem to be all penetrating, right now. But that could change. And this target, one ship, I tried this as well. One ship with one of my Praetorians with no armor does an entire 125. Yeah, it takes a lot of damage, but that's still just one ship.
Can I take this moment to pee on everybody's parade?
Sure.
They're not turned up the whole way to where they're supposed to be.
Right.
No, I did see that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Until I see a finalized version, it's very hard to figure it out. Because what if they tweak missile evade, mortar evade, rocket evade, crease splash radius, the whole bunch of stuff they could do, which would wildly affect my build.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing. I mean, I'm chopping more D7Ms onto my Praetorians at the moment, because like you were saying, it was penetrative damage you was taking. So hopefully, that will give me more survival against the penetrative.
But do you think that's worth doing if we don't know, the final damage and what they've got planned? I guess.
Yeah, we're all still trying to figure out the armor.
Yeah, I think. Well, we can stick 6 on each, can't we? Is it 6 or is it 4 on each?
It's 6 on each.
6.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
6 on each.
So I'm going to put at least 3 of the D7s on each one. I should get that done before the next raid, and so if they do change, if they drop the 120s or whatever they do, hopefully I'm in a reasonably good position.
I don't think they'll drop the 120s. They'll just be the dragon target. So I think they'll keep them. But
we should probably stop talking about them tier locking those, because eventually they might hear it too.
That's right, and we don't want that. So
let's hurry up and move on to BP next week, because I'm hungry.
Shut up! I've got one more thing to say.
Shut up! I'll keep you off the show.
Do it! I dare you. I double dog dare you. Does anyone think it's strange that we're hitting Legion targets? Shouldn't we be hitting Draconian targets, or have we totally forgotten about the story so far?
There was a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there was. Yeah. I don't know. It's just lost in myth, isn't it? A long time ago.
I think so. I think so. All right.
That was the Dark Ages.
That's all I wanted to say.
I don't think anybody works there who knows the lore anymore.
I think when we started doing skirmish battles that was surface fleets, and started doing other raids with subs in, and I think they lost the plot then, a year or so ago. So yeah.
I think the lore left when Harbin retired.
Well, I did see.
Actually, EDR was really good at keeping up with the lore.
He was, yes. I did see someone on on the forums going on about moving ships in there and how there shouldn't be moving ships in there, and it's like, well, I agree with that, but however, we've moved on from that as well. So anyway, never mind. All right, so
cats are sleeping with dogs.
Sorry,
go ahead. I said cats are sleeping with dogs. Get used to it.
Yeah. All right, so BP next week. So we've got the support for shipwrecks for next weekend. Wednesday, so it'll be the shipwrecks briefing and the 9.30 update. So it'll include info on the event, including awesome new PvP content in the store. Notice that it's not fun anymore. It's awesome. Anyway.
Now, hang on right there. Stop right there. I want to read the announcement that was made on Wednesday. Hi, folks. Bounty 23 is being moved to August to offer more time for production of new content. Apparently you had the content.
Is it fun content?
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. They're saying they were have all this new content for the shipwrecks, but Bounty got pushed because they need to produce more content.
Oh, hang
It's
on.
like-
They've said that it's fun down here. Go on.
Probably reworking some ships that they're having problems with.
Quite possibly. Anyway, so Thursday at 3 p.m. PDT, shipwreck begins, so you can hit shipwrecks, targets, and Kickstarter replica bases to earn points and claim fun new PvP content. And yes, I was wrong. You were all right. We do have a Royal Kicksair Interceptor skin, which is the ship that Half Centaur was using. So you're right. I'm wrong. I said it.
Ross, let you and I bask in this for a little bit.
Here we go.
I like the visual of you and Ross basking.
That was like the South ship looking thing, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I did kind of like that actually. Yeah.
Now, how much work did they put into making the skin?
I think you'll actually find that it's too big to be usable and no one will use it. But that's just me.
What I find interesting is they don't say which interceptor it's for. Is it for all of them?
What does it make them all look the same so you don't really know what you're fighting against till it starts shooting at you?
Which would be real shitty.
Yeah, that would be
Well, you
fun.
will if you're driving one of those octopus things.
Well, would it make it look like the old Dutchman style ship as well? If it's for all interceptors?
That's what we don't know. If it's for all of them, or
We
just
don't know.
specific.
'Cause
If it's for all of them,
that would make it more.
that's real shitty.
It would make it more interesting if you could disguise all of your ships. You know?
That's what I thought they was kind of going for, because, I mean, it would be sneaky as far as you fighting the other person, you know. Figure out what I got, bitch. You know, come on, fight me, you know.
That's it.
But I haven't been doing shipwrecks since they added upgrades. Piss on that. I
A
mean,
strategy game shouldn't be based around a guessing game, though. You know what I mean?
well, it would be for how you going to handle this when you get in a fight and see what they got. You know, add some excitement to it. You can get boned or you can grace through. I mean,
If it's for all of them, I think it's a horrible idea.
I think they should have left the upgrades off and just kept shipwrecks just plain. So it was on a balanced.
I was having fun before the upgrades. They throwed upgrades in there. Oh, they're going to give them that much of an edge on me on a brand new home? Piss it. Piss on it. I'm totally against upgrades. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had a big conversation with them about that. Big. I think actually that might have been right around the time when I got muted.
Yeah, I just don't see the point of it anymore. Why you would sit there? Surely the only strategy of shipwrecks is, if you're going to do it, you wait until the last encounter and you go and smash them if you can. You know, Surely that's the only strategy.
Yep.
Or timing. Wait till nobody's playing. Go hit the damn thing.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that actually works.
It does. It makes a massive difference. I know when you lot are all asleep, it's a good time for me to do it, but you know.
Yeah, I know a good
love
time for
getting
me.
Sorry.
I know a good time for me to get on as well, sort of thing. So you know, when it's quietest, you know.
What were you saying, Cuddle?
And players love getting sniped. It's the thing they all love, is sitting there for 15 minutes and then at the last 30 seconds somebody comes in and snakes it from them. I mean,
well, to me, it's the only strategy to do it. Why would you do it knowing that someone's going to do it to you?
I totally agree. It's the best strategy.
At the moment, I mean, I'm not a fan of the shipwrecks, just simply because, you know, if you're tied to something for 15 minutes, it's boring.
Yeah.
You know, and well, unless you want to, it's constant battle, and then you want to spend a load of money on it. I'm not seeing the appeal of it myself personally. You know.
Well,
I like
my strategy is just to make Geordie do it. So that's the strategy I'm going to be going for.
My strategy is to cross out the word shipwrecks and just go hit bases anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer, a target that you can do in a minute or two, a couple of minutes, and that's nice. Otherwise, it becomes a chore. Unless it's a real fun target and you can pick it away. But for the most part, it becomes a chore and a grind, If you've got big, long targets and sitting in anything for 15 minutes, it's like, nah. That doesn't...
Well, I think the big key they missed is we said we wanted fleet versus fleet back. We didn't say we wanted a fleet versus fleet monthly event.
Yeah.
We wanted the fleet versus fleet on our time when we felt like it because it was fun. We're going to like. What was that one movie that's like you can't schedule fun? Fun. Fun. I think it was in Star Trek actually. It's like you can't. Fun is a spontaneous thing. You can't schedule. Okay, at 5 o'clock on next Thursday, we're all going to have fun.
Well, what we've had is PvP.
It doesn't work that way.
We've had PvP engineered by committee, and that's the problem, isn't it? You know what I mean? And it's not, to me, this iteration of it doesn't work for me. I don't find it fun.
No, I know I'll certainly just be hitting the replica bases and maybe sneaking a few at the end, but that's about it. I just, it was fun the first time around because it was new, and then it just got twisted into this horrible bloody, horrible event that we didn't really want to need.
Thank marketing.
Yeah. Thanks, marketing. You're great.
Thank you, Golden Doodle.
Anyway, never mind. All right. Well, I guess we've been dribbling on for probably a fair while now. So is there anything anyone wants to finish up with? Have we done? Is there anything else burning in your desire to talk about?
Upgrades on new ships suck. I said it.
I'll second that. Yeah.
I'm going to finish up by saying dinner's ready, and I'm out here. Later, guys.
Later, Damnation.
See you, mate.
Bye, mate.
I'll bring back up to 125s. I was running with the Praetorian flag and 3 ships, one of which is not finished yet. It's just got a couple plum rockets on it. And I was autoing the target for about an hour and 25-minute damage.
Okay.
Sometimes an hour and 35 minutes. It depends on which direction the fleet decides to break into. It's got a weird pathing when it decides to auto. Like 3 ships will go one way, and the number 5 ship, well, he just wanders off and takes damage. That's that stupid number ship.
See, for me, when I'm putting that into context of how much repair we're taking or damage we're taking and how many points we need to get in a weekly FM, it's a hell of a chore,
Well, this one was a hunger for points.
And I will point out that I have no armor on my ships at all.
Okay. Yeah. Has anyone been looking at the battle reports afterwards and, being able to see which damage is the highest rather than just on one ship? Because obviously that's not giving you the full story.
It's all missile.
Most damage is the penetrative, mainly from the Stormbringer missile, which you don't seem to be able to avoid.
Okay.
And there is explosive damage, but it's minor.
Yeah, as I said earlier, that's why I'm loading up with more D7 M's, on my Praetorians before I actually take them into a 125, because at the moment I don't need to.
That does bring up something about the 125, which really irritates me. And I've seen this moving around a bunch now, is if we have a turret in our base which fires rockets, and then we see the same turret graphic in a base in one of our targets, and that thing shoots missiles, irksome.
Yeah.
There are Wendigos in the 125 that fire something. Maybe a missile, but it definitely is not a radioactive launcher.
There's rifles that fire explosive.
I was going to say that was the one that got me when I first saw it. I'm like, what on earth have they put on those rhinos?
Yeah, it's
The question
explosive.
is whether those turrets that are in the 125, will we see them in the future as new base weapons?
Oh, pound in the jar. You said turrets.
Yeah.
So I could have a Wendigo model firing cryo rounds and a Wendigo model firing rocket missile things.
Sounds like fast.
And being a Wendigo, what's the build time going to be on it? Since the current build time on old tech is how ancient and long?
That's after you've upgraded it.
It's a worry,
It's
isn't
like the
it?
U3 upgrade, yeah.
Well, I guess the strategy is that you don't know what hull or weapon is firing anything anymore. So maybe that's the new strategy: is just confuse everybody.
So it's not just the
Seriously.
skin for interceptors; it's everything.
Kixeye has a great art team. Why couldn't they have just made a few new turrets out there?
Yeah.
Rumble.
They're busy in, designing the interceptor skin.
They need new concepts.
Yeah, I noticed. I mean, these ships are looking like they're looking like recycled. I mean, the Gorgon. To me, the Gorgon looks like a nuke cruiser, just a little bigger.
Mhm.
The suppressor
I
looks
mean-
like a Nighthawk sub that's been slightly modified.
Yeah, in all honesty, that's the one department I really haven't had any problems with, other than the health bars, and for graphically, I think the game has just done a 180 since the start, and still it holds strong. I'm pretty happy on that aspect, and in all honesty, I'm somebody who nags a lot and complains a lot about things that
Yeah,
go
he
wrong.
does.
Well, it's true, and about things that go wrong, but art department really comes through. They get props for me. 95% of the time, I'm really thinking, really nice job. Every now and 5%, I think, oh, they just kind of slacked, but it's still okay. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think the art department's okay, you know.
Yeah, the
compared
latest
to-
artwork is really
If you
good.
remember what they threw back at us years ago, like 7 years ago, when they did the graphical update, and it was like, what the hell is that? You know,
Right.
they've got, it's much better. It really has improved. You know.
Well, and I think they've got some clout now. I mean, they're making skins for hulls, and their skins are worth as much as the hull. As far as points wise and coinage wise. So I think that they're pulling their own weight in the game. I'm in the middle of a thunderstorm here, so in case you lose
I
me.
just brought up the latest artwork that they posted on Discord. That's the funny Corsair skin that we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the one we saw in the battle with Yanis. Yeah. Or the representation of the ship we saw in the battle with Yanis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've done well. I mean, I kind of like that one, but if it's as you say, I know with the difference of opinion. If that skin can work on every hull, it could be fun. It could be a complete nightmare.
Here's a question.
Luck, take a chance.
Is that Dover? No, the one with the turret on the hill. They
The
look like
Dover Cliffs.
white
looks like
cliffs to me.
Oh yeah.
They're taking over England.
Oh yeah. It does, doesn't it? It look like the White Cliffs of Dover, yeah.
To me, it did. I was like,
What
the first
is
thing I
this?
thought was, oh, it's in Dover.
Yeah, I hadn't seen these before, yeah.
I'd like to know what ship this is.
Well, At the risk of being
Well-
wrong, again, I reckon that's that black Interceptor skin.
I think that, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Isn't that one of the interceptors? Because it's got the single weapon thing going on it.
See the slope
Yeah.
in front? See the slope in front? I think it's the suppressor.
Frigate.
Maybe I might be wrong, another one.
Well, I thought the suppressor had like two arms out front,
Yeah.
Yeah.
poke
yeah.
nosing it.
Frigate.
Yeah, it could be the strike frigate, I guess.
Yeah, could be.
But
That's what I was thinking. The strike.
To be honest, I was a bit disappointed with these, but that was just me. So it's all subjective on this sort of stuff. When they said wallpapers, I thought they might be a bit more. I'm sure there's been a lot of effort put into them. They just didn't really excite me, but everyone's different. So very good. All right. Anything else? Otherwise, I think I'm gonna say that's probably enough.
Those were the wallpapers, huh?
Yeah.
That's what I. Oh, fair enough. Okay. Good. They got better. They've got better than that just in live pop-ups, in my
I
opinion.
think so. Yeah, I think so. and I sort of think back to some of the older style ones that we've had as well, and I don't know. They didn't really, interest me.
No. Right. Yeah, I was kind of waiting for those, and so I didn't even know they were out already. And it's all right. All good.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, very good. All right, that's
posted
Chuck.
last.
Yeah. I think we talked about it last week, but when it was in BP next week last week. So,
Yeah.
there you go. All right, that's long enough. So thanks everyone for watching, and I hope your VXP is going well next week. If you want to do shipwrecks, I hope it's fun. It is what it is. Remember, it's not bounty, it's shipwrecks. So there was a fair bit of talk about people being a bit pissed off that there was no bounty, because I think that is one of the events that people do enjoy. So, it is what it is. There's not really anything we can do about it. So you either do it or you don't, I guess. So,
Go fishing. Hey, what do you
yeah,
mean?
you can go fishing. That's very
Right.
true. That's very true. All right, we're out of here. Thanks very much, everyone. I'll put the link in the YouTube chat if you want to come and join us afterwards. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and I hope you have a good week in Battle Pirates. So see you later.
Laters, peoples.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, all.